Now, I lost a mate on the weekend, a fellow I'd known for something like 25 years. A very colourful bloke who played a significant but often silent role in my life, in my career. He was a source of immense information, stories, background and moral support. His name was Warren Mallard, Sydney's top private investigator, and a man who cared a lot for other people. He was always willing to jump on the radio here or in any television story I did previously to give it spice, to tell a true tale about some villain or crook. He knew a few from a previous life as a police officer, and he knew how to pursue them as well. He loved telling jokes. He loved laughing. He was always a glass-half-full man. "Oh, you'll beat those bastards," he used to say quite often when I found myself in strife or faced another death threat. He was always on the phone, wanting to know how I was, constantly. He really cared for people, Warren Mallard. His benevolence with money was extraordinary. No one knew. He didn't want anyone to know, but his generosity made him a legend among friends. Warren Mallard was struck down by cancer so quickly, he had no time to accomplish some of the things he wanted to do in life. He wanted to see Billy Joel, and I got him some tickets earlier this year, but he couldn't get there. He was too sick to make it. His life, though, was incredibly rich, and he was blessed to have and love his wife Anna so deeply. And boy, did he love her. He never stopped talking about what she was up to, what she was achieving, and what a great mate she was. But 64 years of age is way too short a life to lose. But then again, when you think about it, Warren lived 2 days and just about every one. So I guess practically Warren Mallard lived 128 days, or years I should say, which is not a bad innings, 128 years. I'll very much miss my chats with Warren Mallard, which I used to have after the show. He'd call me on the way home and laugh his guts out at what Carol, the limo driver, had to say, or what the one-iron was up to, or he'd get excited about what Stephanie had to say about politics. He was not a fan of Julia Gillard's, and he urged me over and over again to keep her honest. And whenever a caller was in need, he'd call me and offer his help or offer his money. And that was Warren, a super sleuth, a former cop, a man who loved travelling, was addicted to politics, did all he could to help those in need, and he was a real good mate. Earlier this year, he actually picked up the telephone to say goodbye to me. He said his cancer was winning, and he wanted to say thanks for everything and just to say goodbye. What do you say to that? I didn't know what to say. How do you respond? I tried to keep him positive. It sounded a little weak because that's the way I actually felt, weak. I spoke to him several times since then just to see how he was. The last time was 3 weeks ago. He died on the weekend, as I said, and he was fading in and out of our conversation, and I knew this would be our last chat together. He told me Julia Gillard was a shocker and that she was gone. He said he'd given up the chemo because it was a mongrel and not worth it anymore. He'd lost some hope. He thought South could win the competition, and that got us both excited. But before long he'd had enough. He couldn't talk anymore, and he had to put the phone down. But he said again, "Thanks for everything, mate, and look after yourself." He was a good man, Warren Mallard, and I know he'll still be listening to the show from above, and you may have heard him on this radio station. He never missed a day. But I'll miss our chats afterwards, because good mates are hard to come by.